As Israel mobilizes troops and tanks closer and closer to the Gaza border, India today is now just 4 kilometers away from Gaza. Reporting from the front line, here's Gaurav Sawant's dispatch.
What you hear behind me is the roar of the Israeli tanks. It's these tanks which are now moving to the front line. Like, watch very closely. These are tanks of the Israeli army. India today is getting you these exclusive images of the movement of the Israeli forces that is currently taking place. India today is right at the front lines getting you these images. The situation remains extremely grim here, but what you see on your television screen is movement. Israeli tanks, watch this. These are armored personal carriers. This is an India Today exclusive that you see on your television screen. Armored personal carriers and tanks of the Israeli army are moving very close. And we are reporting right from the front lines of this battle. The situation here does remain extremely grim, and we've been told to remain very alert. We've been brought here. We are being shown these exclusive images that we are getting to you first and live on India Today of the movement of the Israeli army to decimate the threat that's posed by Hamas. Gaurav Sawant at the front lines, very close to the Gaza Strip in southern Israel for India Today. I am right at the front lines, and this is where you have the Israeli army artillery position. You can see those guns one after the other there. That officer and the team, they're loading that gun there behind me, that other gun position, and one after the other these multiple guns are booming and targeting Hamas targets. This is right at the front lines. We are right now barely a couple of kilometers from the Gaza Strip. In fact, you can see Gaza with your naked eye from where I am standing. These guns have now been, this is a dugout gun position. It's a proper artillery gun position where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guns, which means this is an important position. These 8 guns are now targeting Hamas strongholds. What you have here behind me are guns that are decimating. There you see. These guns that are firing, they're decimating Hamas leadership bases based on inputs that they're getting. Now, in the skies above, you can also see drones that are constantly keeping an eye. Drones that are constantly keeping an eye on every movement and where the shells are landing. In case the shells are not landing exactly where they're meant to land, then a correction is given and then another round is fired. This is systematically punishing the Hamas. This is exactly what the Israeli army is doing right now. And we are at the front lines of this war, Israel's war on radical Islamist terror, Israel's war on Hamas. There has been some criticism of area weapons that are being used because a shell like that is one, like the one that you see right behind me, when this falls, it causes a lot of damage. But as far as Israel is concerned, the officers we've spoken to, they're very clear that they are destroying Hamas strongholds. Their main aim today is to target some of those tunnels where the Hamas uses those tunnels to ferry, transport not just terrorists but also rockets that have been targeting towns like Ashkelon and Sridot, where I am right now. Some of these rockets, Hamas continues even today to have the capability to target these locations. And today there has been some loss of life and property in Sridot, where I was just a short while back, and police and the army are asking people to evacuate very quickly. People are being asked to evacuate because there is an apprehension as this artillery attack, this artillery assault intensifies. As this artillery assault intensifies on Hamas strongholds, there will be some positions from where they will hit back. They will also target the Israeli towns and cities, and Sridot and Ashkelon are 2 places they would target. In Sridot, People are being asked to move to safer locations. Some houses have been damaged. Some people have been hurt. Now police are going door to door asking people to move. Buses are going to be requisitioned. Cars are being requisitioned. Volunteers are being called in to ask people to move out of this area. We were also asked to move out of this area by the army and the police. They said it's not safe to be here because when there is an artillery attack like the one that's taking place, there is what is known as CB or counter bombardment that takes place. Of course, that happens more in the case of an organized army because an organized army then uses its weapon locating radars to strike back. In this case, we do not know if Hamas has those kinds of capabilities, but Hamas does have the capability to strike. That is why you also have their air defense system in place for if more terrorists want to come in from hang gliders, they will be hanged, as one of the officers told me. He said this is our Pearl Harbor moment. America was surprised in Pearl Harbor. Then America destroyed the perpetrators of the Pearl Harbor attack. He said this is what has happened to us. We've woken up. We were in deep slumber. We've woken up, but now we will completely decimate the enemy, which is the Hamas, which is what these guns right behind me are doing right now.